My makeup inspiration for today is Milla Jovovich. I prepared a mood board on Pinterest that you can look at right now. Look at her, it's so beautiful. Very much inspired by this lip oil by RMS. Milla has quite hooded eyes, which I absolutely love. I get questions about makeup for hooded eyes so often. Everything I'm going to share today is going to be applicable for any kind of hooded eyes. I have a little bit of a fold, but you can still see my mobile lid, so I don't have that typical hooded eyes, but Milla Jovovich does. So I'm going to recreate her kind of signature makeup, that very nice lift-in smoky eye that looks the best on hooded eyes. I want my skin to be juicy and healthy looking, so I'm gonna use the RMS Sun Cover Up in SPF 50 in the shade Ivory. It has a little bit of yellow in there, which goes nicely against my redness. I'm not opting for full coverage. This is going to be my first layer of complexion. It does give you a decent amount of coverage, I think. I love to use the Westman Atelier concealer at the moment. It just agrees so nicely with my skin. And Niche Beauty was so kind to send me the lightest shade. This is L1. I bought L2. These are both of them side by side. L2, which is more yellow, and this is L1, which is a little bit more neutral. I'm going to use L2, the one with a little bit of yellow in it, on a very dense, soft concealer brush, and I'm really buffing in that pigment, and I'm going to look for the place that I want to put coverage on, and then I stipple, buff, and dance my brush around it. Blender cover in 2.5, anywhere where I see blueness. But I don't want to make them too intensely covered. This color is great because it has this peachiness to it to counteract the blueness underneath my eye. Let's use the lighter shade a little bit to bring some light in certain areas. Right in the inner corner, a little bit along the sides of my nose, a little bit there, and maybe a little bit there. And buff the lighter color in to create like light and shadow in a very subtle way. The Axiology Tinted Dew in the shade Peace. Such a nice color for a fair hue of bronze, if that makes sense. I just want a little bit of shape to my face, and this is the perfect color, I think. If you're very light but you want a little something to shape and warm the face, but that's not quite a bronzer, and a tinted dew is giving you a little bit of, as the name suggests, a little bit of glistening glow, which for this look is exactly what we want. I'm also going to add Biscuit. This is the contour stick by Westman Atelier. Just a little bit in the shadowiest areas. So I'm gonna pick it up from my hand, and then I'm going to add it a little bit right here, a little bit right here. Just want to carve out a little bit, like hues of shadow, not too much. One of my favorite and most easiest tips for hooded eyes is to give the brows a frame, make them end at the right place. Your outer corner is your guideline, and really give that lift to the arch. But do you see how much more awake and lifted this eye looks in comparison to this one? My favorite textures to use on hooded eyes are creams, especially if I start the makeup look. And I'm gonna start with the Surat Eye Souffle. This one has such a beautiful texture. It's very lightweight. You can't even really feel it, and it does slightly set on the eye, so there's not a lot of creasing going on, which is a good thing for hooded eyes. If you prefer so, I don't mind a little bit of creasing. This is a nice like grayish greeny color with hints of golden flecks. Apply it with your eyes open. You can see right here my fold right here gets color on it, so when my eyes are open I can actually see color to give the eye a little bit more depth and frame and make them look bigger. I'm gonna use that same shadow underneath the eyes, and I'm gonna go a little bit lower and then connect it to the upper lash line. Now I'm gonna layer and play with all these nice smoky shades. This is Mauve M146, beautiful like amethyst kind of shade. I'm gonna pat it along the lash line because I think that purple with that gray gold just gives dimension. I always get questions about hooded eyes and liner placement. This is a beautiful color. This is called Yubari by Manazi 7. This is a nice like lilac-y taupey brown. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace along my upper lash line, really just saturate a little bit all along. Doesn't need to be too neat. Same on the lower lash line. And you don't have to wing out every liner, but you absolutely can. And if you have hooded eyes, a more softly blended outline is beautiful and ethereal and yeah, just a little bit softer. I load up the pigment where both waterlines meet, so upper and lower waterline. Tiny blending brush. And the smaller your eyes, the smaller your brushes will get, because you want to see what you're doing. And if you have hooded eyes, you want to see the details a little bit closer. And then I just blend pigment that I concentrated on that outer corner and softly drag it out. Let's add some black in the mix. This is also by Manazi 7, and I'm gonna be very gentle with that black and really concentrate on creating depth. As you can see, I have my blending brush handy already, and I'm gonna use it to tightline a little bit again, and I'm gonna of course blend it together with that aubergine shade, putting that black in the waterline. If you have hooded eyes, you can opt for a brightening pencil to really open up the eye, or you do complete opposite if you want that nice, sultry, smoky, mysterious, sexy, smudgy eye. A lot of words. I'm gonna put it inside the waterline, and I'm gonna wiggle that black in between the lashes. I'm gonna add light now, so I'm gonna use the perfect shade for that. This is Mauve M160 Frosty White. Little bit on that inner corner right here, just a little bit. And then we're gonna, of course, add it right underneath our brow bone. Put it in the center. This is going to be that interesting feature that only pops up if you blink. Purpley amethyst color on the sides again. Use a little bit of sparkle, like intensifying that texture with a translucent sparkle. This is the Sparkle Bomb by Mauve. Just a little bit, just a dab. Right here. A cream eyeshadow is just your friend because you can blend them so easily, but you can always use a translucent powder like this one here by Simi Hayes. Get a fluffy brush and softly push that translucent silky texture on top of your work, what you've created, and then you have your cream eyeshadows all set. Mascara. This is a crucial step for hooded eyes, I think, especially if you have a mascara that you love and that doesn't smudge, because that can happen with hooded eyes quite often. I'm using the Asian Nature Growth Mascara. This is so lovely, and I like to softly push them in the direction of my wing, and I want to have a little bit more of a drawn out eye. You can also push it up depending on what you like. One more thing I like to do is use my concealer brush. This has nothing on it, but if you feel like you need a little bit more, you can absolutely add just a tiny bit more product. And then I like to lift up, and this is pretty much it. And now I'm gonna quickly do the other side. Working in layers is always your friend, no matter your eye shape, especially working with thin layers of creams that have different textures and playfulness and colors to it. It's just the way to go in makeup. I'm gonna use my first layer of blush, which is a very soft, subtle hue of pink. This is from the Glow palette by Kia Weiss. A couple of weeks ago, I was invited to a virtual event with the one and only Rosemary Swift from RMS. Amazingly invited me to it, and it was amazing. Rosemary showed us the blush shade in Elusive, and she said, I even wrote it down, she said this is an anybody color and it's instantly gonna lift the face. It's just gonna work perfectly for this look, especially if you use very deep smoky shades. I like to freshen it up again on the cheeks a little bit. I'm going to give my lips a nice smudgy frame with this long-lasting pencil by Gen Z. This is the shade Rum, and I'm applying and blending it in. So this is like a feathered frame, I would say, nicely and diffused. So I got this beauty delivered, and this initially sparked my inspiration with the name. Let me show you the doe foot, which is insanely big, which I actually love, and that color is so beautiful. This is just looks so nice. This is one coat, I would say. Let's see if we can build it up a little bit. With this eye, I like this intensity. I don't want it to be too intense, but let's see if we can layer this. But I think this is as opaque as I can get it and want to get it. It is lovely. Let's give this face a powder. I'm gonna use the same one that I used for my eyes. I'm gonna use a very small brush, just delicately powder where I want to. I hope you enjoyed. I love the process. It's just so much fun. It is, for me, moving meditation. It's just always nice to play with colors and textures, isn't it? I think this is kind of a marriage of all the inspo pics of Milla Jovovich. I need to see this look with a little bit more slick back hair and with a nude on the lips. So I think this like amethysty kind of smoky eye really pairs well with a nude. And this is the lip oil by Monica Blender in Castagna, paired with the long-lasting lip pencil by Gen Z in Cognac. Leave me any questions below. I hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Mwah.